Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Tyler Russ, and I am your student's teacher for US History this year. We're making a presentation by video tonight because I'm unfortunately unable to be with you live on the Zoom, and I apologize for that, but we're going to make the best of the situation. I want to spend a little time with you tonight talking about myself, so you get to know who your student's teacher is, as well as what the expectations of the course are, how to know when your student needs help, and what help is available from me, and how to get in touch with me, most importantly, in case you have any questions, comments, confusions, or just suggestions on how I can better help your student. So let's get right down to it. Like I said, my name is Tyler Rust. I'm a national board certified teacher. I have a master's degree in history and a master's degree in teaching. I've been teaching U.S. history for almost 20 years now, and I absolutely love the curriculum. And I feel like in the course, I've developed a lot of things that will help students to not just understand and appreciate the narrative of United States history, but to grow as learners and as thinkers, which is what we really want for your students as they begin to venture out into their post, secondary school experience, if that's college or if that's career. I want them to be good readers, good writers, and good thinkers. So in addition to teaching United States history, I also teach government and econ to the seniors. So there's a chance that I may even have the opportunity, the good fortune to spend next year with your students as well. So that's my hope, is that they'll enjoy what I give them this year, and we can begin building on it again for next year. But if not, there are other wonderful government and econ teachers at this school. So no harm, no foul there. If you need to contact me, and that may be something that happens over the course of the year, email is by far the easiest and fastest way to communicate with me. So my email address is right here on the screen. Please take a look at it and make a copy of it. You can always find me on the teacher portal at the website. And if you drop me an email at tyler.rust@wccusd.net, that is the fastest way to communicate with me. I'm in and out of my room all day. I'm usually teaching, and so it's very difficult for me to pick up the phone and give you the time and respect that you deserve. And so email is the fastest way for me to respond to any questions that you have. So please drop me an email if you have any questions, or if you'd like to set up a meeting so that we can talk about your student. So a little more about me. So I'm not new, like I said, I'm not new to the classroom, but this is my first year at Pinole Valley High School. I've taught all across the world and across the country. I taught in Japan for many years. I taught on the East Coast, where I'm originally from, but I've been out in East Contra Costa County for quite a bit of time. I was teaching out at Heritage High School for about 13 years, and now I'm over here at Pinole Valley, and I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful school, great community. The leadership at this school, as you probably know, is outstanding, and I'm really excited to be a part of what's happening here at Pinole Valley, and I'm really excited to share with you that I've had some great experiences with your students so far, and I think the year's going to go really, really well. So that's a little bit about me. And one more thing, I also coach a club, and I strongly encourage you to encourage your student to join the Mock Trials Club. The Mock Trials Club is a club that I run here at the school, and we put on trials and compete against other schools. And we go to the Contra Costa County Department of Education Mock Trials Tournament every February, where we compete against schools from all across Contra Costa County in a real courtroom in front of a real judge. And your students will learn about the law, about the legal system, about professions. They'll meet lawyers, they'll meet judges, and they'll hopefully develop strong public speaking skills and legal critical thinking skills, but also really just have a fun time, be with their, fellow students in a academic environment. And that's something that I run here at Pinole Valley. And we meet every Tuesday at 3:35 in my room right after school. So, tell your student to check it out. We'd love to have more people on the team. We've got a good sized team already, but we can always use more. And we are building. We are going to challenge the top teams in the county. I just know it. So mock trials Tuesday at 3:35 right after school. So now about the course. Let me introduce you to the course itself. So United States history is a required course in social studies for graduation in California. That means your student has to pass. Now, this year, it is my goal that all the students will pass. In fact, we have a mantra. They probably told you about this. We say it every day in our class. Remember this: I will pass Mr. Rust's U.S. history class with an A. We say that every day in our class because I want them to believe and to believe in themselves that what we're doing is going to lead to success. And if they say it, if they see it, if it becomes a mission statement, then I believe, and there's actually a lot of evidence to say that that will lead to greater success down the road. And I really want that for all of our students. So U.S. History and Ethnic Studies is the formal title of the course, in that we are not just looking at United States history, but we're diving into a variety of different histories, minority histories, women, African Americans, Asian Americans, Latinx history. All of it's going to be included in there. And we are going to do deeper dives throughout the year in each one of those, so the students will get a better understanding of what a multicultural, society that they are living in, and that they'll understand the long-term changes and consequences of history, so that right now in our very confusing moment, they will have a better context to understand why things are happening and what they really mean beyond the 24-hour news cycle and the scandalous headlines that they see. They'll understand that there's actually a history behind these things, and that they can make up their own mind based upon their own reading of history. Now, that being said, right, so that kind of hints at what I'm really getting at here, which is that I'm really driving your students not necessarily to remember all the names and dates and places of U.S. history. They are going to learn a lot of the content, absolutely. But really what they're going to take away is a better appreciation of themselves in a society, but also better thinking skills, better reading skills, better writing skills, better, debating skills, expression, self-expression. All of those things I think are things that they'll carry with them, so that even if they never ever again discuss the War of 1812, they'll at least be able to explain to a college professor or a boss that, what is important about something and why they think it's important, right? And those are skills that I think are valuable in college and career after high school. So that's really where I'm building towards them. Now, the junior year really matters, and I impress this upon the students. The junior year really matters, and it's a time in which they can no longer sit back and just say, I don't know. No, I'm going to be pushing your students, and so they might come home and say, oh, Mr. Russ is really hard on me, and this class is really hard. It's because I'm no longer just going to let them say, I don't know. I want them to think, right? and I want them to know that trying to think is not a disgraceful thing. It's not something that they need to run from. It's not something that is hard. They just have to practice it. And in our class, we're going to have a practice of critical thinking. So the first item on our list to describe the U.S. history today is the textbook, right? Well, or the overall course. We go from earlier than 1490, right? We go all the way back to the land bridge in Asia 10,000 years ago, but we really start diving into the content from about 1490, and we go all the way up, hopefully all the way up until today. And so throughout the course, we'll be talking about today whenever we can. Right? We'll be making connections to what's going on socially, economically, politically, right now in our society, so that the students see that there's a value to this, to knowing what happened in the 19th century, because it helps to inform us in the 21st century, right? And that these things aren't over. They're not even in the past. We're still living through our history right now, and they'll see that, and then they'll be able to make those connections because of a practice of critical thinking. There is a textbook that the students all have, or at least should have at this point. It's a hardcover textbook called The Americans. I do not require that the students bring the textbook. They don't have to bring the textbook to class every day. I feel like there's a heavy lift. So I post the chapters on Canvas. So that way the students can always access their textbook wherever they are. It's on their phone or it's on their laptop. It's in Canvas. It's listed as a text. So all the students have access to the text right now. And we use the text every day in class. Every day we use the textbook in class. Like I've said previously, this is number 3 on our list. We really work on reading skills, writing skills, critical thinking skills, and verbal expression in U.S. history. So we are reading and answering questions. We are writing after looking at primary source documents. We're writing and interpreting history. We are thinking about questions, questioning the texts, questioning the textbook, questioning history, and trying to derive new interpretations. History is all about the interpretations. And then, of course, we are going to talk about it. We're going to debate it. We're going to discuss it. And so students will be needing to verbalize what they know. The grades in the course are broken down right here for you in point 4 on this slide. 40% of your students' grade will come from classwork. This is questions that we answer in class every day based upon the reading that they do for homework. Homework in this class is usually very, very short. I usually assign about one section of a chapter every night. Those sections are anywhere from 5 to 10 pages long. And if it's a 10-page section, usually there's 2 or 3 pages of pictures and maps. So the reading is actually very small. It's probably about 5 pages of reading a night. And it's really important that the students read before they come to class. So please check. Ask your students, have you read your 5 pages? Tell me about the pages you read in U.S. history, because you know they have homework every night to read their textbook. We do have tests in this class. Periodically, we'll every 2 chapters or so, we have a test, and that'll make 30% of their grade. Writing, we write almost every week. We'll be looking at primary sources and writing about history, and that makes up 20% of their grade. And then a weekly participation. Are they on time? Do they ask questions? Do they answer questions? Do they have their laptops? Are their laptops charged? Are they working with others? Are they participating in the class? That's 10%. Now the grades for your students should be updated ideally weekly on PowerSchool. It's my goal to do that at least weekly. Obviously, sometimes life gets in the way, especially with our COVID reality. So if it's not there weekly, just drop me an email, let me know, and I'll try and update your student's grade as soon as I can. Everything is on Canvas if your student is out. Right? If your student becomes sick or whatever reason they're not in school, every assignment, every slide deck, everything we did in class is on Canvas. So they are never unable to do their work and never unable to know what we're doing in class. And please, by all means, reach out to me if your student is struggling. I've already been dropping some emails to parents about students whose work is missing. There's quite a few missing assignments. So you might go on PowerSchool and just take a look at what your student has and has not handed in. And remember, if they fail a test, I do allow for test corrections so that they can raise that grade up to a C. And so you might encourage them, if they failed a test, to do the test correctly. And if anything was really serious and you want to talk, by all means, drop me an email and we'll set up a one-on-one appointment. All right, well, that's about it for me, and I really appreciate you listening. I hope that one day we can talk face-to-face. Again, I apologize for not being able to join you tonight. But thank you for sharing your students with me, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you very much.